Why, hello everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome to the TNT
Man, can you
podcast
sound more bland?
episode. That's
It's Robo Tim.
I
We're
know
on
that's
where's
autopilot.
like,
where's the that's the joke meme.
nah, fuck that.
We're on autopilot because every episode for the rest return is going to be exactly the same if nothing new happens in the world.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
here. Welcome to another episode of What's Canceled This Week.
yeah.
Lockdown
I mean,
edition.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Episode
It's all
106. I'm gonna say.
Probably.
But we're back. We got very little news this week since we caught up last week. But that's okay. We can talk about an actual topic. Ooh.
Ooh, spooky.
But as the podcast, like I said, my name is Timpedia, and on my right,
Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
and on my left,
Just Tyler. Only Tyler. Big
And-
titty anime expert.
There he goes.
There he is.
and the unofficial fourth member at this point.
It's a tired Tuesday for me today, so I'm just Aiden today. I'm stealing
Not
Tyler's
feeling very amazing.
stealing Tyler's thingy. I'm just Aiden
Yeah.
now.
You can't. Hey, whoa, wait a minute.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
wow, this is episode
no.
104. Wow. Whoops.
Oh, never mind. It's 104, not
Damn,
106.
the weeks are just
We
blending
were-
together.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
man.
I mean,
That's what
This
happens.
is what
when-
happens
Oh,
when you don't
fuck.
go outside.
Did you not release 105 last week?
104 didn't release last week. YouTube just threw up an error. Sick.
Damn.
So we're gonna
everybody,
double up.
you got-
105.
Two new episodes this week.
Damn, spicy. Wow, I don't know what the fuck happened. That's weird. Good thing I noticed that. Anyway,
We're bad. That's what.
the lost episode.
Because after the first week, I didn't go back to listen to the Weeb shit during work.
Well, now you know why.
Mm.
But yeah, so we have very little to talk about, but in some ways we have a lot to talk about because a big game came out that three people here are going crazy for. The remake.
That's right. The
Damn.
20, no, 17. How many years was this been?
It's like
23 years in the making.
A lot of years.
I was gonna say,
Many,
well, when do
many
you want to
years.
count it? When our hype?
Oh, the
started
Japanese
back
release?
in 7th grade, because I remember the tech demo for Final
when it came out on
Fantasy
PS3.
VII. Yeah, before the PS3 came out, they're like, "Yo, this is what Final Fantasy VII would look like." And I'm like, "Why would you do this to us? Why?"
That
Why-
was
why?
pretty rude.
Like
The
that
be-
was
the
the
be-
biggest BM move I have ever seen a company do.
The best part is remembering in the moment how beautiful it looked, and now when you go back and you watch it, the tech demo looks kind of ugly.
I mean, for the time, it looked.
Oh, for the
pretty
time, it was
good.
great.
Yeah, but look at what we have now.
Damn.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like, come on, come on.
Technology's evolving. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway,
I didn't watch or do shit this week because all I've been doing since Friday is playing this stupid remake. And oh boy, am I loving every second of this.
yeah, it's. Hey, you want to tell the listeners how far you got in the game?
Did you beat the game already?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like a fucking
I'm
loser.
sorry.
God damn it.
It's a very, very good game.
Freeman, yesterday-
I really wish I could talk about plot though.
Yesterday
I
when we
know,
were
I want
on
to get to the ending.
yesterday when we were on Discord, fucking me and Tyler were on with Aiden, and Aiden goes, "Yeah, I beat it, so now I'm gonna watch Tyler play."
Yeah, now he's like, yo, stream to Twitch so I can watch you play, and I'm like, all right, fine. So I had to
So-
get the Twitch working.
So full disclosure, that's all I'm doing. Like at night, I'm playing this game. During the day while I'm at work, I'm listening to my favorite streamers get through parts I've already played because I want to see how they're reacting to this shit. And it's fun watching everyone go through this together because everyone's been waiting forever for this remake.
Yeah,
It's really, really good.
waiting for too fucking long.
So I
Yep.
think I texted our group chat on Saturday night when I was playing, and I think I said, "How the fuck did they max out everyone's waifu factor?" Because every female character in this game is so damn likable.
They did,
Like-
yeah. They flushed out the characters like all of them
Every single one.
pretty well, in my opinion. And like characters like the side characters, Big Wedge and Jesse, who are straight nobodies.
Nothing characters in the original are just they're real characters now. This is so weird.
They're bros, and Jessie is now a potential waifu.
Yeah, Jesse's pretty good.
She a thirsty hoe though.
Yeah, she is.
She like
But,
parched.
I mean,
The game doesn't hide that, and there's one part where she hits on Cloud, and he's like, "Are you really that desperate?" That's an actual line from the
Which
game.
is great. Are you really that desperate? Yo, come back to my place for the full payment. I'm like, shit.
Damn, they were not playing around with this.
Is this Kira Metz?
Like everyone was afraid, like, oh, they're gonna censor the shit of this game, and then they're like, nah.
oh, absolutely
Have
not.
Jesse be as like overt as possible about everything.
No, there's this
Trying to
game
grab that
can be
materia,
very,
dude.
very dark. There's some dark shit in there.
I'm looking forward to the end. So right now I'm at was it Wall Market? I always want to call it Wall Street.
Wall
And I
Street.
just
Same
whole
shit,
market.
same
I
shit.
just finished the Coliseum fights, and like the last
Oh.
thing I did last night was wait, Tyler, did you already do the Coliseum fight?
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
I did.
So the last thing, so the house shows up, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then that fight sucked. That fight was miserable. And I was
Correct.
like, all right, I'm so sweaty. I need to just take a shower and go to sleep, or I'm never gonna fall asleep tonight. So that was my pausing point last night.
You've got some stuff ahead of you, buddy.
I know.
Oh, you're coming up on the best part of the game.
Look,
Like, no need.
I
No need.
thought
I'm, like,
I
not
hit
joking.
I thought I hit the peak when I'm like, you know what? Let's pay for the full price hand massage at that place. And then I
Oh,
got to watch.
dude, that
was
was a
essentially-
warm-up.
Oh,
That's small
wait,
time.
hold
all
on.
right?
Which one did you guys go with? Did you go with
Oh,
the cheap, the middle, or the
listen.
expensive?
What the hell? Yo, you're not a real man if you don't pay 3,000 for a hand massage, all right? All right,
Okay,
you ain't
good.
true baller.
You
Dude,
gotta
that
get the
scene
good
and the
grip on the
immediate scene
Buster
after-
Sword.
Yeah.
It was
Oh
like
my
one of the
God.
greatest things I've seen. I was not expecting anything close like that in this game. Basically,
No,
just
it was literally the scene from 10-2, the massage scene.
oh, the massage scene. Yeah.
I was like, man, thank God I'm 28, and like, not like, my parents aren't like right around the corner, because it was some sus shit. What the fuck you watching? Nothing, dude. I'll never fucking live it down. Fucking playing 10-2 when my parents were around the corner, and fucking LeBlanc, I hit that fucking G spot. Because it might as well have been. And she fucking screamed so loud. I'm like, what the fuck? My dad's like, what are you playing? I'm like, Final Fantasy.
And he's like, oh, that's what they're calling it these
And
days.
he's just like, what the fuck? Like, he just like shook his head and just went back to doing whatever he was doing.
I don't know. For the most part, my parents would ignore all the stupid shit in video games. But I remember there was one time, quick tangent, in Metal Gear Solid 2, every time you save the game, there's a good chance you're going to start a 30-minute conversation with your. I don't know if she's your fiance, your girlfriend, or something.
Oh no, she's supposed to be your girlfriend.
Girlfriend. Anyway, there's one part where there's like legitimately a 30-minute conversation with her about how she might be pregnant. And I went to just save the game and sign off for the night. My dad's like waiting for me to turn off the game so he can watch whatever show he's gonna watch. And he's sitting there. He's like, "Wait, I thought you said you were gonna save." And I turned to him like, "I am saving." And this goes on for 30 minutes, then it ends. And he turned in with the whole like, "Jack, I'm pregnant." He's like, "That's enough." And then he hangs up. It's like, "Would you like to save the game?" My dad's like, "What genre is this game again?" And I look back at him. Tactical espionage action.
This is a stealth game. I am taking down a nuclear bunker.
Yeah, thankfully I never had to explain the Final Fantasy 10-2 nonsense with them, but same
Well,
vein.
at least you didn't have to. I had to explain quite a few times. Like, what is this? I remember. So, I also another Final Fantasy story. I remember I don't even remember what I did. I got grounded though at some point in the middle of me playing Final Fantasy 7. And so I would sneak, like, if my parents weren't home, I would play Final Fantasy 7. And the part where I was at was I was trying to breed the chocobos
Gotcha, to get like the perfect one.
to get the golden chocobo. And my dad catches me. He's like, "What? Like, all right, fine. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is so good about this game that you gotta like, disobey what I gotta say?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing this." And he's like, "This sounds retarded." Like,
And
that
you
wasn't
went,
the exact
"Yes."
words, but he was just like, "This is stupid." And I'm like, "No, it's not."
Yo, he doesn't understand the power of Knights of the Round, though.
He doesn't and plus quadra magic. He has no idea.
So I have PTSD of watching a Sephiroth cast. What's the spell that blows up the universe?
Sin Har or whatever the fuck.
No, it's not Sin Harvest.
No, what's it called?
That's from Kingdom Hearts, right?
That is from
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Whatever that move is.
I'm gonna look it up.
Well, the first time I played Final Fantasy VII, I think I was in high school, and I was playing like the PS1 emulated on a PS3 version, and something was wonky about it. And whenever he'd use that attack, there was like a 50-50 shot it would freeze the whole console.
What
So the first time I
fuck?
fight him, it froze the first time he used it. The second time I fought him, it froze during the second time he used it. So I start the fight again from the beginning, and during the second time, I'm like sitting there like literally jumping up and down like, please, Lord of God, do not crash my system. I just want to finish this game. So between that and Knights of the Round, I always get a panic attack when either of them are cast.
Jesus. It was Supernova.
There you go.
Yeah,
Of course
it's
it was.
hilarious because he has the ability to cast it like 3 or 4 fucking times.
Yeah. Longer goes on, the bigger risk.
Yeah.
One thing I did think was interesting was watching a bunch of like background videos on this, and apparently like they'd known for a while they wanted to do this remake, but it was Tetsuya Nomura brought up to like the head of development that like, hey, like I'm 45 and I'm the youngest member of the original design team still here. Like we're gonna hit that age where none of us are gonna be able to work on it, and some of the like new guys are gonna do it, and all the old guys are like, fuck that, we're not letting anyone else touch this game. So that was the whole reason they finally decided to do it.
Yo, what better motivation is there other than nothing? That's what I was going for.
What? I just lost all of my audio.
Sam,
Yeah.
hold on, the connection's garbage.
Discord died for a second, but it seems like it's recovering.
No, mine's dead.
Nope.
Responded.
Yay, Discord.
Woo!
All right, I think it's stable.
Hey,
It
Are we
looks
good?
like it's stable
Are
now.
we stable?
It's
Damn
fluctuating
it! Yeah,
hard.
it's going between yellow and green for me.
I don't know. It's good for me. Oh no, it's red for me. No.
No, I'm averaging 20% packet loss.
Noise.
Or
This is
restart.
going well. Yeah, we'll restart the
Yeah,
call.
restart the call.
And I said, hey, who wants Discord to work today?
All right.
Okay.
Technical difficulties aside.
Well,
still
you get what you
doing
pay
it.
for.
It's still doing it.
Exactly.
Anyway, last point, because I'm probably just going to play this game for the rest of the week and then actually give a verdict. Hold on, waiting for the connection to restore.
I mean, I haven't stopped hearing you now, so.
Oh, you haven't.
Yeah.
I figured it would get robotic. Anyway, the way they did music in this game is at any given time, there's 3 versions of a song playing, and they'll switch between the intensity, whether you're in combat or not. And I think this is the most immersive soundtrack experience I've had in a game in a while.
Yes. There is music literally everywhere in this game. Everywhere.
And the music is good,
s-
except the cursed
Some
audio.
of it is questionable. There is some cursed audio in this game. Specifically a cursed chocobo theme.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like any of it.
Oh no.
Everybody disliked
You
that.
would have run into it by now, Freeman.
Are you talking about the jukebox remix of the Chocobo theme?
Wow, it's how did you know?
Didn't
Yeah,
you...
so most of these remixes are cursed audio.
Okay, good.
Also
Because
true.
Freeman
But
and
that
Tyler
was
were
the-
both saying that when they were talking yesterday.
It's literally the worst.
Yeah.
There's
some
a
of
couple
them
songs that are cool, but
questionable.
most of them are just like joke remixes. Thankfully, they're meant to be like in-universe songs people are listening to, and not the soundtrack of the game.
Nah, fuck that. I don't want no SoundCloud shit, alright, in my Final Fantasy game.
Oh, fine.
That fucking TJ made in his fucking basement, alright? I don't fucking. Nah.
You don't want to listen to some underground rap from below plate 3?
Absolutely.
good lord.
not. That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
All right. I'm probably gonna end up beating this game by next week. I'm not sure. Probably.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to blow through.
Yeah, I'm
this.
trying
I
to
mean-
like slow up. Like I'm doing every side quest possible. Like I noticed I had the same problem when I was watching Star Wars 7 because I was really hyped when that came out. But like halfway through the movie, I was like, "Damn it! Like I don't want this movie to hit an endpoint. I just want to sit here and watch this movie for like a while and see what happens." And I feel that way with the Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's just like I don't want to get to the end of this. I want this to just keep going.
Didn't you take about 40 hours, Aiden, you said?
I came in a little bit under 40 hours. I had 38 hours in it. And that was doing all side quests, etc., etc.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've heard that number overall between 35 and 40, depending on how much side stuff you do.
Yeah, I mean, I am not done playing the game though. Like I unlocked hard difficulty, and I still have some things that I didn't collect that I'm going to go back for. And yeah, so I will be playing this more than 40 hours for sure because it is a very good game. I think they've done a phenomenal job with the combat system in this, and they took all of the best lessons they could have from the last few attempts.
Like they took all the good shit from 13, 15, and Kingdom Hearts 3, and they're like, all right, try to make it work with the 7 combat system.
Oh,
Yes.
wait, hold on. I gotta talk about one gripe, but this is just a personal thing. It's I was telling Ian about the combat system. I wish you had a little bit more, I don't know, control
Character
over.
control or like
Yeah,
automation.
like
Oh,
yeah,
like tell
automation
what your
control.
teammates that you're not currently controlling are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just go off on their own. They're like, "Yo, I do what
They're
I
just like,
want."
fuck it, pick a different target.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like when I'm trying to focus like a certain point on an enemy, they're like, "No, we're gonna attack the main body." It's like, really, really, like that's not what I want.
Yeah.
That's not even remotely close to what I want. Like, you can't even attack the other arm or the other leg. You're really just gonna attack the one thing I don't
Yeah,
want
like
you
you
to
can't like
attack.
set target
Yeah.
for your team.
I mean, like even if it was a simple like attack my target or don't attack my target would have been
I would
a
even
big
take
difference.
that. I would even take that.
See, my one request is this is the first time I played a game in a long time where your dodge has 0 iframes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I just need to dodge super early. Like I can't get used to this like Monster Hunter mindset of timing my dodges perfect with an attack because it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You either gotta
You gotta just
dodge super
you gotta
early
position out of the way.
or eat it with a block. Like you gotta just try to time a block, at a
Yeah.
good time.
And block
Nah.
is pretty good.
But yeah, block
You
is
should use it more,
block.
Tyler.
I'm trying
You don't
to get
block a
into
whole
that.
lot.
Well, I learned that lesson the first time with what's his face, the first soldier guy. I forgot his name.
Roach.
Yeah,
Motorcycle
I think-
dude.
and I think I
Motorcycle
didn't give,
soldier.
I didn't really give two shits about him because I'm like, oh, this is a character I don't know, peace. Which I shouldn't have that attitude towards because But yeah, because I was like, all right, maybe I should start blocking with him, right? And then I just kind of fell out of that, and then I got to the house and I was getting just fucking mollywopped.
Dookied on.
Dude, Aiden saw me. I was having a really rough time. Like I beat it on the first try, I think, but like
Yo, you burned so many resources on
Oh,
that.
I had to
I
use
did.
like a ton of Phoenix Downs and a ton of ethers. I kept running out of like. All right, I don't want to get into the details, but the whole mechanic of that fight is like he's vulnerable for like 5 seconds, and then he's just straight up invulnerable. And the whole idea is exploit those 5 seconds. But like I couldn't cast anything in the window that he was like vulnerable, and it was so frustrating. I ended up blowing all my mana on just like attacks that ended up not working.
Yeah. It's not a very clear fight. For like it's difficult to see what's actually going on, and like what you need to focus on and how you need to
Yeah.
attack and stuff like that. It's like that fight in particular is a very mechanically overwhelming.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
It's just so much stuff happening.
All right, let's get off Final Fantasy 7 because we're going to come back to this in the following weeks because there's nothing else
Yeah.
going on.
Y'all have to finish because I really want to talk about plot.
bro,
I know.
I'm not
I already
gonna
have-
finish it that early. I'm not doing it.
I have a YouTube playlist going of just videos of people talking about the ending because I'm curious, but I'm avoiding spoilers. There's no people are salty as fuck, and as someone who's been bathing in this Nomura storytelling shit for the greater half of this decade, I feel like I'm more than prepared to handle this.
You'll probably be fine. I can understand why some people would be upset, but we can get to that later.
Look, hopefully they're working on this, and we don't have to wait too long between the different sections of Final Fantasy VII Remake over
What do you
3
mean?
parts.
That's going to be another
Is the real name of
23
this
years.
series. That's my real fear. Is it like what if it's gonna be like 2 years before the next part? Like this is Square Enix, the company that can't seem to release a game on time to save its life.
Yeah.
Well, all right. You know
hopefully
what?
they
If-
redeem themselves.
Last time they did some shit like this. All right, let's look back to Final Fantasy 13. They did a 3-parter.
Oh, hold on. All right, I'm gonna fight you on this because 13.2
Oh, here
is
we
straight
go.
up just reusing assets from the first game.
Yeah,
Like,
what do you think
there's
Final
so much
Fantasy
to reuse.
7's gonna be, bro?
It's not like once you leave Midgard, none of those assets work anymore. The setting changes vastly, and especially after spending all of last night at Wall Market, the amount of like voice work that went into this game. There's a shit
dude,
ton
there's
of voice
so
work.
much. There's
Like,
just
they have to write all that, record all that.
Let's just no. There's just a lot of work.
Yes.
There's just plain just a lot.
Like
of
this is
work.
just effort was put into this.
And you can tell. I mean, except for some of the structuring, but you know what I mean. But aside from that, well, cause like, all right, so real quick, you think about the structure, right? You start the game, like you do the whole first play thing, and then that blows up, and then you go into Sector 7, then you have a female companion that follows you around while you do side quests, and then a bunch of shit happens. You go on a
If
mission.
you're gonna
blah, blah,
get
blah.
to if you're gonna get to the fact that chapters 3 and chapter 6 are basically mirrors of each other, then yes, that was intentional.
Yes,
And 14.
Oh no.
Sorry.
oh no.
I'm just
Oh, no.
warning you. Chapter
I get-
14 is another one of those sections.
Gotcha.
I get that intentional, but like, come on, that's not what I want.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Which is fine.
At the very least, as minor as it is, if you don't partake in those things, there are minor like story alterations moving
Yes.
forward.
I've been watching a bunch of other streamers. Like there was one who, like, I did all the side quests on chapter 3, and then I got probably the greatest scene with Tifa I could have asked for. And then I noticed one of the guys I usually watch for Magic content, he's just like, fuck side quest. And he goes forward, I'm like, damn, dude, you're missing out on a great scene because of this.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I was
What
well.
did you-
I watched Tyler play through Wall Market, and he got some different stuff than what I got.
Oh,
Based
apparently
on
there's a
my
lot of
decisions,
different like
so-
branching options based on what you say throughout that section.
Yeah. So that's also a thing.
It's truly a role-playing game.
Truly.
It is. Y'all need to finish it. Beat it, Tyler.
I'm not beating it this week.
Beat it,
No,
please.
I'm savoring it.
Fine. I'll just
I'm
have to play it
saving-
again.
Yeah.
Look,
Play
come
through
talk
and
to me
beat
in
it
35
again.
to 40 hours.
Will do. That's
Not
like
from this moment of forget it.
I
Anyway.
was about to say that's Thursday.
Never mind. Never mind.
All right. Let's actually end the Final Fantasy discussion. We'll get back to this when we're all either saltier or less salty.
Well,
Seasoned or unseasoned.
the rest of the news is very minor stuff that I pulled out like in 30 seconds to talk about. This is kind of neat though. I forget who it was. I think the director of the first Doctor Strange movie was supposed to come back into the second one, and then he either stepped away or Marvel booted him. But they just announced that Sam Raimi, Mr. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, is, I think, coming back to the MCU for the first time, or Marvel, since he did those 3 Spider-Man movies. I don't think he's done another superhero since then. But now he's on his way back. I'm going to double check to confirm that I'm not totally lying.
No, but he's done a lot of.
He's done a lot of
produced a
movies
bunch of
since
horror
then.
movies after
But
this. I didn't know he's the man behind Evil Dead.
yep, that's the other
Yeah.
thing he's big for is Evil Dead.
Fucking Sam Raimi of all fucking people.
Yeah, not much in recent years. There's some minor stuff, like some horror stuff on here that I don't know. But yeah, this is his first superhero thing since then. So this is pretty cool to see him coming back for the weird Doctor Strange movie that's coming out. Who knows when, but it's coming out eventually.
Sometime eventually. Magic. When will the movie come out?
Yeah,
Maybe someday.
Try again later. But another thing that I just thought was hilarious. So apparently, so we've known for a while that NBC is doing a streaming service to rival Netflix and Hulu and the billions of others now. But apparently, I didn't know this. It's called Peacock, and for certain Comcast people, it's actually going to start rolling out tomorrow.
Really?
Yes. The
So it's
IGN
like
article I
comes with
read.
the cable service.
Apparently, if you have Comcast X1 or Flex, you can speak the word Peacock into your microphone remote controller, your microphone-enabled TV remote, and it will let you test out Peacock. The Office isn't on there yet, but that's probably only because Netflix still has it for the rest of the year.
Damn. So they're pushing back most of their original programming until 2021, which seems unusual unless it's not finished yet.
Well, that's probably what it is. They probably... Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, look, if we have to push the content out, then just get the service launched. People are going to pay to switch over and watch old shit one way or the other, so just do it.
Like, I'm not so sure about that. Like, Mandalorian was a great example of just having one good thing can pull people to your platform, or even like
Yeah,
the fact that everyone's watching arguably the shittiest thing in existence, Tiger King, just because it's something to watch during these trying times. You think NBC's like, maybe if we if we build it, they will come. Like,
so
fucking put it out there.
I forgot to mention this. There is another thing about Tiger King. So
Oh Christ!
I mentioned this to no. So we finished the series. We had finished it last week, so that's not news. But they put out that special 8th episode on Sunday this past week.
The OVA.
So here's the thing.
An actual OVA.
No, it's way worse than that. So
I haven't seen enough OVAs.
No, but this is literally what it is. So for anyone who watched Walking Dead and who knows what what was it called?
Talking Dead?
Talking Dead, that piece of shit. So this 8th episode isn't a continuation. It's not new footage. It's just some guy interviewing people who were on the show. That's it.
Yeah.
He calls them up on a Skype call. Me and Val and her sisters literally made it through less than 2 minutes before we turned it off. It's like, who's this random schmuck sitting in a bed somewhere, Skype calling with a bunch of people who people now know exist because they were on this show? Like, the first comment he made was so in the show, one of the people who works at Tiger King's zoo is like this typical like biker hippie looking kind of guy with long blonde hair. And the first thing the guy goes is, "Hey man, did you wash your hair today?" And that's when we all turned to each other and said, "Okay, we can stop watching this now." So honestly, it's really disappointing because I was looking forward to like an update since the show happened or something. Or like one of the guys in the show apparently was saying on social media like, "Oh, they were here with a film crew to do new footage," and it's like either it was in the episode somewhere and they just started with this useless interview or what, but yeah, so.
Well, that show is useless, so.
You haven't watched it yet, so you can't say that.
I watched 15 minutes, that's enough.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
I told you gotta finish the first episode.
Fuck.
I was gonna watch it, but I had much bigger priorities on Saturday.
I refuse. I'm trying to watch a better show.
That priority's name is Tifa.
Oh my god.
You're the real waifu.
Fuck you, Aerith is the best.
Yo, you about to have
She's
a
so
fight
pure.
on air.
Yo, what year is
so
it that we're
pure.
arguing about this?
The year is 1997. Fucking Bill Clinton is president.
Stop, please.
Speaking of crazy alternate realities.
Oh, sorry. That's my cue for the Weeb
Wow.
show. I was like, what? Is there something else before the Weeb show I'm not sure about here? Oh,
Shit.
man. All right. Yeah, we are living a strange alternate reality where anime just doesn't exist. We are getting the remains of what didn't get canceled for this season has started coming out. So we've got like the big hitters like Food Wars Season 5, Kaguya-sama Season 2, Tower of God is airing. A couple other ones that I'm not sure about. I honestly haven't picked up too much new shit. I'm honestly using this time to watch some old shit, but there's like a very very small trickle of news. Most of this is in like the last 24 hours. This came out. The first one came out today. Is that so everyone has heard of Cells at Work, the show about
Yay!
taking your body's immune system and just turning them into anime characters and explaining shit about how your body works. There is a spin-off series of Cells at Work called Cells at Work Code Black. The original series deals with a generally normal person with a normal immune system. But what happens if you're in the body of someone who's just straight up dying? So Cells at Work Code Black is the story of an immune system trying to save a person whose body is failing and they are currently dying. It's a much more gritty, bloody version
certainly
of Cells
sounds
at Work.
like it would be.
It's a completely different genre. They've also gender swapped the white blood cell and the red blood cell. So the white blood cell has how do I put this? Large assets on display for the viewer.
Hell yeah!
And it's almost always covered in blood. So this is going to be interesting. No one thought we'd get an anime adaptation of this. They announced nothing about who's working on it, so we don't know if David Productions is going to be doing it, which means the hope for JoJo Part 6 might still be alive.
Oh my god!
So
We
wait,
don't
you
know.
mean this is just an anime adaptation of Osmosis Jones?
It's a spin-off of Osmosis Jones, but yeah. Actually, no. This is the plot of the first movie of Osmosis Jones.
I'll say you literally just explained the plot of Osmosis Jones.
Sorry, so if Cells at Work is the show Ozzy and Drix, this is the adaptation of the movie Osmosis Jones.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Then on to anime movie news. Big surprise today, given that Aniplex, who owns Bunny Girl Senpai and refuses to release the series at a reasonable price, they just announced that they are finally releasing the movie on Blu-ray. It's $50 for this movie on Blu-ray.
Jesus.
Which they just think is a sensible price for people to pay for anime. I was pissed when I saw that price. You gotta be kidding. I'm not paying that much for an hour and a half.
That's wild.
But then Funimation, who had the theatrical rights to it, announced that for this weekend only, it's going to be streaming on Funimation's website. So I think you need a subscription to watch it.
Fuck.
I'm not saying I have one that I lend out to literally everyone in our D&D group, Tim, but if you need one.
I would like to watch this movie, please.
Anyway, yeah, the movie's very good. I don't cry in theaters a lot, but I cried a lot in theaters in this movie. So be prepared for that.
Well, I say that, but Val still refuses to watch Violet because she's worried she'll cry. So maybe we won't get to watch this, and I'll have to watch this by myself.
Yeah, you only have until I think it's like Sunday at midnight. So make sure you watch.
Do you know when it's going to come out?
Tomorrow. Oh no, sorry, not tomorrow. Today's not Thursday. Friday at some time. I don't think I give an exact time, but it's Friday through Sunday. It'll be available.
Gotcha. Okie doke.
Morning. And the last one is, we talked on this lightly during the last episode, which most of you probably haven't heard yet. Anyway,
no, it'll be out before this.
Most anime movies have been delayed indefinitely because they won't release without a theatrical release, because that's where all the money is. And in the midst of it, I said, well, the Demon Slayer movie's probably delayed because they haven't given us a release date, so not really. And like literally the next day, they're like, hey guys, the Demon Slayer movie's coming out October whatever. And
I think it's 16th, but I'm not sure.
I'm like, good fucking joke. So it's delayed, but you need to give it a date that sounds reasonable, because you can't just have it hanging out there indefinitely.
So the best part though is that they had the announcement. It's like delayed, and then the next day the trailer came out that said 16th or whatever.
So the problem is, and I'm willing to bet the movie was scheduled for July, because it kind of fits with the timeline of releasing trailers. So they had this trailer ready. All the movie theaters shut down last week, and they're like, oh, we have this trailer ready though. What do we do? They're like, well, slap on a couple months, throw the trailer out, we'll see what happens. So this was just part of their hype cycle, but I don't know.
My God.
I don't know.
It's probably not happening.
Trailer looked pretty cool though.
Dude, Studio Ufotable's on suicide watch right now. Like, they were making all their money off these movies, and now there's just nothing.
No movies forever.
Damn.
And they can't continue any of these series until the movies come out, because the movies are the next season.
Yeah.
Like, they can't go and negotiate to start working on the next season of Demon Slayer, because this movie needs to come out first.
Is there more Goblin Slayer coming? I don't remember.
There was
you just reminded me.
There was actually a movie that came out that was supposed to function as a sequel. I don't know if it made it to U.S. theaters.
I would assume not.
Well, hold up. So outside of episode 1, Goblin Slayer is very tame.
I know, but that's what I mean. Is the series super huge? Because I remember it coming out, everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And then was it like the kind of thing that had a long tail, or no?
Hold on.
Do 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 do.
Sorry, the Wikipedia's like layout for this series is bad.
You know what else is bad? Discord today. Holy shit.
And is it finally kicking in for me? My robotic?
A little, but it's kind of everything. It's not any one person.
God, this is the worst episode of the podcast.
Probably.
I mean, this is the worst year ever, so it's
Damn.
fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's the last year, so we don't really need to worry about anything after this
It's
one.
the last year.
Mm-hmm. True.
Maybe it didn't get a U.S. theatrical release.
I really
Probably
feel-
not. Given that it just came out in February this year, there wasn't enough time
Oh,
for them to
wow.
plan anything if they were doing one.
Well, I was gonna say also. It came out. So it came out 2 months ago.
Yes.
I feel like they've never had that's like the fastest possible turnaround from Japan without this Corona thing happening.
What from?
To turn around a movie from Japan to America in 2 months.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they didn't. I thought this movie came out way before that, but
I gotcha.
It's much more recent than I thought. So
you
no,
thought. Got it.
like I thought they had they announced that the Made in Abyss movie was coming to theaters like a million years ago. I wasn't sure if it was like one of those like, oh, Goblin Slayer will be having a U.S. theatrical release. We just don't have a
Gotcha.
date planned yet. Like Funimation's the only one who does like we're doing it within 60 days of the Japanese release.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But that's it for the Weeb shit. There's literally nothing else going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people have run out of cancellations, so.
The world has seemingly slowed down rather significantly.
Yeah. But that
So-
means we can talk about the one thing that isn't slowing down significantly. The Switch and the sales of said console
Dude.
are
The only thing slowing them down is the fact that they're sold out
the
worldwide.
fact that they don't exist. No one can buy them anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now that I've broken out my Switch and the Switch is getting almost constant play in this house between me playing Breath of the Wild and Val's sister playing Animal Crossing, Freeman had the idea, why don't we talk about the trajectory of the Switch, things it could do better, things it's good at, and things we like and dislike about it.
Nothing. All right. Podcast
All right,
over.
so what did we
All
watch
right,
and
see
play
ya.
this week other than what we talked about, right?
Shit.
Man, as someone who did just start recently using the Switch and forming my first opinion, like, the Switch is... I gotta say, the Joy-Cons are annoying, but being able to play 3-player Mario Kart with only one controller and the basic Switch is kind of cool.
So when you play, is it almost always docked for you?
I always play docked. Val's sister does half and half.
So I more often I end up playing in handheld mode. So I have a slightly different experience. I approach this as a former 3DS owner whenever I pick up the Switch, whereas I'm pretty sure most people look at it like a genuine console.
I mean, part of the problem is that I'm playing Breath of the Wild, and honestly, that game, I don't know what it is, but that game looks worse in handheld mode noticeably to me than it does on a big TV.
Yes, it scales down for the handheld mode.
Oh my god. Okay.
For performance
No,
reasons.
I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to talk
And
about.
battery
Okay,
life.
okay.
No,
So,
talk about it.
well, because this is kind of getting into. I want to talk about Breath of the Wild and what I played later, but I will say, Breath of the Wild seems like a game that I will find more of on the Switch, which is it doesn't really take advantage of what the Switch is. So I wish to God it was on a stronger console, because holy shit, does Breath of the Wild have some of the worst draw distance for such a big open world game, and some areas in that game chug like crazy. And I just wish to God Nintendo would do the Sony and Microsoft thing and just throw it on PC. Could you imagine how good a Zelda on PC could look, like if modders got into it and stuff?
Oh my god.
If modders got into it, yes. I was about to say there's no way in hell Nintendo would ever put any more
No,
effort
and
than bare minimum
the
on
game-
a port.
Trust me, the game looks fantastic. I love the art style and everything. The game looks really good. But man, the thing that holds this game back more than anything is the technical. Like, when you're flying, when you're gliding over the world, and like, yeah, no game is going to be able to render everything with perfect detail, but the fact that you can only see what is like directly under your feet is pretty bad. And like, if you go to like the Korok Forest, It's because
that's terrible.
as
The
soon as
Korok Forest is atrocious.
So I
popping.
Yeah, so I just unlocked
Pop,
there
lock,
because
and drop it.
that's where the Great Deku Tree is and where the Master Sword is. As soon as you teleport in there at a shrine to go try to, because I still haven't gotten the Master Sword yet. I'm not quite strong enough yet. The game just like it's clearly struggling to render everything in the zone, and it's like, man, if only the Switch was more powerful. I can't even imagine what that looks like on handheld mode.
Nintendo stopped doing gimmicks for once.
Well,
Never.
no. So here's the thing.
It's not really a gimmick. It's just, I mean, they market everything to their Japanese audience. They like do stuff that just so happens to be popular in the West.
So here's the thing.
If it wasn't, I don't think they'd care.
I actually don't hate the Switch's gimmick at all. Like, it's been perfect for me to play Breath of the Wild, and then like I thought it would do it during the podcast.
So
but
you
like,
were just complaining about how it was.
No. But but that's I can accept that that's a technical limitation of doing handheld version. What I was gonna say, if you let me finish, Tyler.
Nope. Why the fuck would I do that?
I've talked about it on here before, but when we had the rumors of the Switch Pro, I really wanted that to come out because I'm the kind of person who really, like, outside of when we are doing D&D on the TV, I don't take the Switch out of the dock to play Zelda. And I wish there was a Switch for me that was a more powerful unit, or even if the dock was more powerful. Like, I would happily have bought a dock that had extra processors in it so that it could actually buff up these games a little bit.
So I'm going to be the bearer of bad news and tell you that if the Switch Pro does come out...
No, it's not going to.
Well, no, if it does come out, because they did this once for 3DS, it will not be utilized by first-party studios.
No, I'm
like
sure.
Nintendo studios. And they did this with the 3DS. Like, we got to put a more powerful one. But then they're like, actually, don't make any games need it. So none of the games even used it. Like, there's... Kid Icarus Uprising is like the only game besides like Xenoblade Chronicles, the remaster, that needed the what's it called, the new Nintendo 3DS.
No, and I actually totally understand that, and I'm not like really upset about it. I'm more just sad because, like, I see how, like, I'm gonna get into it in my week, but Breath of the Wild is a really incredible game in a lot of like ways where they clearly thought about things. It just feels like the thing that prevents it from being perfect for me is, outside of a few design decisions, the technical stuff. And it just makes me wish, it's the one time I wish I could see what Nintendo could do with more power, or if they let anyone else use more power. Like, so you guys know, I beat Witcher 3 on PC. I bought it for Xbox One so that I could play it with Val on TV. I wish I could play it on Switch because I've been using the Switch so much so that I could use that instead of switching around from console to console. But I will not play Witcher 3 on Switch because it's going to look terrible and play terrible.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Sure, but I wish it had more power for me, but I understand why it doesn't. But at the same time, like I said, the whole Joy-Cons being their own little controllers thing is such a cool little design. As much as I fucking hate that click.
Yeah, there are still some technical issues with it though, like hardware-wise. Like I can't play it undocked right now because my left Joy-Con will not connect to my console.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yep.
Can't you play it undocked with a controller, like, hooked up to it?
Oh, I have a Pro controller, so it's not like I can't play it.
Well, you just said you can't play it undocked.
But you can't like hold it in his
hand.
Oh,
yes, I understand.
Yes. On a table or something.
Yeah,
sorry, when you said undocked, I was like, oh, I assumed you were going to say like the screen is broken.
Yeah, no, I could play it undocked and just connect my Pro.
Right, but you can't hold it.
Now that I think about it, yeah, but I normally just throw the Joy-Cons on there and play it. But for some reason, there is just something horrendously wrong with specifically the left Joy-Con, because that's the one that had the drift issue, and now I'm getting this problem where, like, if I put it on the console, it won't connect to it, like, even though it's physically connected to it. So.
Can I just say how annoying some of the motion controls on the Switch are, though?
Yeah.
in fucking
You could have
Zelda.
ended that sentence with, "Can I talk about how annoying motion controls are?"
No, but like,
Nah, VR does motion controls fine.
well,
So-
I haven't done that, but like, there are some of these shrines in Zelda where even though I'm holding a pro controller, I am legitimately like climbing all over my chair, like putting my hands up in the air above my head and whipping my arms around to do these fucking puzzles. And
man.
it's like, can you just let me use a joystick or two to control these puzzles, Nintendo? None of this really needed to be motion controls. And the fact
Yep.
that you can turn it off for like bow aiming and stuff, but you can't turn it off all the time. Or like Mario Kart. Like, I hate using the Joy-Cons because I still don't know how in Mario Kart to turn off motion controls. So I have to just try to hold it steady in the middle while I use the joystick to drive if I play with a Joy-Con.
I don't remember being hidden too deeply in the menus.
I probably
You can do it before the race starts. I think it's like Y or something like that. But the
I'll
problem
look.
is it's not labeled. It's just a little icon with like a little dingle dangle on it. That's
I'll look
throwing off
into
white
it.
It's
radio
a
waves.
once you know kind of mechanic.
Sure,
Yeah.
but like it's like I feel like this didn't need motion, but then again, things like Ring Fit that sell like crazy needed it. So
I don't know. They learned a lot with the Wii version of Mario Kart, and everyone loved motion controls on that. So they
that's
had
true.
to bring it back.
And I'm sure they sell wheels for this too. So
Do they
Oh,
make
absolutely.
Joy-Con wheels?
They,
Hold on.
they do.
they have
They
to.
100% do. I've seen them.
Does
I've
a
thought about
Mario
buying
Kart exist? Then yes.
They're much smaller than I thought they would be. Interesting.
I mean, they gotta. Yeah, it's a go kart, man. It's not a car.
I know, like, but I feel like you try to make it realistically like wheel size. It looks like, imagine like what a ring. Like if you were Sonic the Hedgehog and you're holding a ring, this is roughly the size of that.
Jesus. They
They are pretty tiny. Yeah,
what
you're
a
right.
banana for scale, but not banana.
Like if Donkey Kong was holding a banana type ordeal.
Oh God.
Yeah, these are small. I've seen larger ones than this though. Stuff off like I think I saw them on Etsy. Somebody's like making custom ones. Because these Nintendo branded ones look pretty trash.
I do wish
Living
the
that
Joy-Cons also, speaking to how yours broke, Aiden, I do wish they felt a little weightier and tougher. I understand
wish
why
were
they can't.
a little bigger.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
Dude, I hate when I have to play Mario Kart with that thing.
yeah. Like I understand. I mean, obviously they had to like match it to the to the display size and whatever. But
Sure.
actually,
Yeah,
that's not even.
they're not comfortable to hold as like no, if you
Yeah.
take them off and you're using both, that's great. If you're using a single one of them as a controller, it sucks. It's way too small
Yeah.
to be a real controller.
I can't even imagine with someone with bigger hands than me, like, trying to, like, do Mario Kart with the Joy-Con and, like, grab this tiny little thing.
I played Smash like that once. It was the single worst thing I've ever done.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's not fun.
But the only
That's not
the only like redeeming quality is that your opponent is also playing with a single Joy-Con, so you're equally on terrible footing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we should settle for that though.
Well, that's true, but also we have 3 people who play, so one person gets the Pro Controller, either me or Val's older sister. The younger sister is oddly happy with the Joy-Con, so it's easy.
Is she a freak?
No. Younger siblings always end up with like the crappy Mad Catz
No,
controllers.
she chose.
So they're just conditioned to suboptimal controllers.
They're just conditioned.
Oh my God.
Dang.
But as people who've had your Switches much longer, do you guys have any comments that I can't address because I haven't had it long enough?
So my approach is completely different. Just because day one when they revealed the architecture, I'm like, this is a cell phone. This is cell phone architecture they're selling us, and I knew like this is a handheld that's going to have a plug into your TV mode. So it was basically like it was like a PSP but with the included cable, because PSP could always plug into your TV, and it was an interesting experience. But like I'm constantly blown away because I always approach this as a handheld. I think of how far has this come from 3DS, and one of the things like I'm excited for is they're redoing Xenoblade Chronicles again, because the remake on 3DS didn't look that amazing, whereas it's going to look pretty good on this. So in terms of handheld, I'm very impressed with where they've come from. I understand compared to the other consoles, like looking at how Witcher 3 looks, it's not that impressive compared to like modern consoles, but it's in this strange middle ground between phone gaming, which hasn't figured out how to be a console, and home consoles are obviously like impossible to make portable.
Right.
So I think it fitting that to like a console experience, but on the go, I think it does that amazingly in a direct like heads up. It's really no competition. Like
No,
if it wasn't for Nintendo
absolutely.
exclusives, everything else blows it out of the water. Even Nintendo's aware of this, and that's why they're like, oh, between doing a beefed up version and just making it like handheld mode only, they realized like people want the handheld. Like Japan,
Yeah.
they just use this as a big ass 3DS. So that was why they went with the Switch Lite, and that's why that's selling so well. If it wasn't for the Joy-Con problem, I'd say that's almost probably like the definitive version of it, just because it has the bulkier Joy-Con sticks,
Mm-hmm.
which is arguably like hardware-wise the worst part of the whole thing. Like I straight up cannot play Smash in handheld mode because those sticks are terrible.
Yeah.
Like for games that don't require like for games without Twitch responses, it's perfectly fine to play on those, but like I wouldn't be able to play a fighting game on that.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Honestly, the more I think about it lately, I kind of almost wish I didn't get a Switch.
Oh wow.
Now I'm thinking about it. Like, I don't know. I haven't had as much use as I thought I was going to get out of it.
I mean, the big reason I bought one was because I knew there was going to be a Pokemon game for it, but lo and
Let's
behold, look
not
at where we
retread
are
that
now.
one.
No, like I got one during its launch year saying that they're like it was right before they announced Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where I was like, Pokemon's on the horizon. I might as well get it now. Also, I think there was something else I really want to play. I just don't remember what it was.
Like, I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
it was Smash Bros. That's why I got it.
Like, I thought, like, I was like, oh, like, Zelda's going to come out for this. I'm going to want it. And then that's pretty much it. Like, I thought Super Mario Odyssey was great. But outside those two games, I'm like, the rest of the games that I've gotten for it so far are like, thought I wanted, just haven't done anything for me. And now it just kind of sits there. In fact,
Astral Chain.
that's literally the only other game, but like, I don't
Still
know.
haven't started it.
I haven't started it or gotten it yet. So.
Oh, come on. It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Cops Edition.
I know.
Yo, man.
With all the style and grace of a Bayonetta game.
Absolutely.
Games I've been
so
playing.
good.
I've been playing other stuff. And
So,
also, I haven't
yeah, you
been in the.
beat the other stuff, Tyler.
No, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it is. Don't lie.
It's not that easy. I
Mhm.
do other things, Aiden.
Nah, you don't have
Other
life.
stuff.
Don't even lie.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, but it's not like I focus my stuff on other things, not just the one thing.
I know, it's okay. I'm
It's
sorry.
terrible. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't care that much. And even Luigi's Mansion that I thought I was gonna love, I just like I don't know. I pick it up and I'm like I really just don't give a shit about this. Like, yeah, a part of it is me not having, I guess, motivation to play a lot of things, but like I just don't give a shit. In fact, my buddy hits me up. He's like, "Hey, like if you're not playing the Switch, can I borrow it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I think he's honestly had it longer than I've owned it.
Wow.
Damn.
Like, cause I just don't care. Like he holds on to it now.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from though.
Well,
It does feel like there is a lot of stuff on the Switch, but like not a lot of things to play for like me personally. I mean, like I got like Overcooked and stuff, and that's a fun game, and played Astral Chain and all the other big games for it. But like they haven't really had anything that's like like they don't have anything else like Zelda or Mario that has come out since those games came out.
Oh, Splatoon! That was the one that I was like, I have to get this to play Splatoon. And
Oh,
I got it. I got it way too late in the game's life cycle. They're like, oh, the last Splatfest is going to be the weekend you buy this game.
Damn.
And I was like, great, I missed out.
Yeah, so it's like I also played that. That was a thing too. But it's like I don't know.
Like, I thought Octopath Traveler was gonna be a banger.
And that's out on Steam. now.
Yeah.
It was not a banger at all. It was subpar at best.
It had potential, but then it stopped at the part where potential's supposed to grow into a real game, and it just kind of flatlined.
Sadness.
Yeah. They I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a hard time like articulating my thoughts on this because it's just I really like the Switch, but like I feel it feels as if there's just been a big empty space. I haven't really turned it on except for like Animal Crossing. The last thing I played before Animal Crossing was probably The Legend of Zelda.
The fact that the Switch eShop has like a million games and you go on, there's literally nothing
Yeah.
to play on there. Speaks like I think that perfectly represents all of our thoughts on the Switch. Like there's all this stuff, but there's like nothing to enjoy.
Like, can we just get that stuff like Bravely Default too?
Real quick, the director came out today. He's like, "Hey, we're really sorry people didn't like Bravely Second," and it's weird hearing a director like apologize like that.
Damn.
But he's like, "Oh, we learned our lesson. That's why Octopath was better, and Bravely Second is going to be better than everything else." So they're learning.
All right, cool. At least Bravely is gonna have like a cohesive story.
Look, like you could
Hopefully.
if they made a game that had the same like battle system as Octopath, but like had a real story, immediately that game would have got me to complete it.
Oh well, there you go. Bravely Default 2. Here it comes.
I know. I'm excited for Bravely Default 2. The first game was good. Anyway,
I will say,
Now-
as someone
ahead.
who, well, no, just because you reminded me, Freeman, of the shop being such a wasteland. I remember saying when Val got me the Switch, or even before that, if I got a Switch, I would want to play a bunch of the indie games on it that like I could play on TV and me and Val could play together, or like I play and she watches kind of thing. Like we were doing with Tyler with what was it, Tyler Moonlighter?
Oh yeah, Moonlighter. Yeah.
And it's like, man, I went on that eShop and I'm just like,
you have to already know what
none
you're
of
looking
this
for.
looks
it's
like it matters.
It's impossible to find like games worth playing on that store.
I mean, we still only have 3 games on the Switch: Cart, Crossing, and Wild. That's it.
You guys should read through Phoenix Wright together.
That sounds miserable.
Damn.
No. I'm honestly just focused on Breath of the Wild right now. Like, I bought Yakuza Kiwami 2 before I even left Ohio to come quarantine in New Jersey, and I just haven't even touched it yet, and I feel terrible. I'm like, man, I should start another Yakuza game. I have a lot of time. But I'm finally getting into fucking Breath of the Wild after like 20 hours. I feel like this is the closest I've come to a Final Fantasy game where I'm like getting really into a game, like what feels like 20 hours in.
Yeah.
But anyway.
True.
I don't know, the Switch is just such a neat console that I just wish... I wish Nintendo would pull a Microsoft and a Sony and do like an updated model, but they're not going to. Or they'd call it like the new Switch, like idiots.
Look, before they even
Switch.
go multi-console, there's one thing. Like I completely forgot about the biggest con of the Switch, and this is not exclusive to Switch. This is exclusive to everything Nintendo's ever touched. Is why is online
Ugh.
such a clusterfuck with this thing? Like
Ugh.
that's like for all the things it is, this is the single thing Nintendo just straight up cannot figure out and does not want to try.
The tried and true, you get what you pay for.
Friend codes.
Yeah, but we
let's see.
pay for it now. This is
Yeah, we
bullshit.
pay for it though. Like
True. Yo, and you only pay
PS3 had
$10.
better online than this, and it was free.
free.
True, back in the day. Yo, but you gotta understand too, like, you know what? Maybe why am I defending this?
Yeah, that's a good
Fuck
question.
Nintendo.
No, go ahead. Go defend their shitty actions.
It's retarded. No, it's bad. It's bad.
I mean, like the only thing that the online has that I even remotely thought was interesting was that they kind of almost made it like a game subscription service, like with all their like old NES stuff.
That and like Tetris 99 or whatever it was.
Yeah. But like other than that, the online is hot garbage, and why the fuck do I need to click through 30 dialogue boxes to get to somebody else's island in Animal Crossing?
That was what I was thinking when I watched Rachel do that one time.
Oh my god. And it pauses if you're going to an island, like it plays a little cutscene like of you flying to the island and getting off of
The
at the
load
airport. I'm
times
like,
in Animal
oh,
Crossing...
that's neat.
Can I say something I forgot? The load times, I know it's kind of the technical thing again. The load times in Animal Crossing are kind of crazy long.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. For what
Like,
what is
there's-
in Animal Crossing, it's
There's
a lot.
nothing.
time.
Like, going into a building takes like a fade to black longer than Resident Evil 1 on like the fucking PlayStation.
Yep. But like, and with the online, so if you're going to somebody else's island, it pauses every single person on that island to watch that cutscene.
Oh
with you.
my
Like,
god.
why is that?
That's such a Nintendo thing to do.
Yeah, I went to one of my friends' islands and I'm like, oh, okay, this is all cool. And then somebody left, and I'm like, wow, what the fuck is this cutscene though? I'm like, shit, does that happen? Does that happen every time anybody leaves? And she's like, oh yeah, it happens when anybody shows up too. Like,
Jesus.
so if
Christ.
you, it's just tedious.
It
to
triggers
have
when
more.
someone leaves as well.
Yes, and it pauses the whole
Ooh.
session. If you're in a menu, it's like, yo, get out of that menu. You can't have that menu open. You gotta close it before we load this person in.
Jesus.
Sounds fucking stupid.
So it's like, it's so tedious to have more than 2 people on an island. It's just dumb. Damn it, Nintendo. Stop
What
it,
the
please.
fuck is this aiming?
Like, just do. Why can't you be normal?
Why can't you be normal? Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo. I like it. I don't think they're doing enough with it right now, though. That's my opinion. Neat
So-
little console.
So the real question is, what are they going to do next? Because we're 3 years into Switch's lifespan, and usually around year 5 is when people start like getting antsy.
Yeah, we're getting the
I
Game
think-
Sphere.
I think it'd be stupid to. God.
You're getting the Game Sphere. First of all, only if they announce the Game Pyramid coming after it.
Yeah, that's fine. We gotta get the
I-
geometric shape series.
I think we're gonna
Spherical.
see a new Switch.
It's spherical.
Because there's
The
too
fa-
much. These have been selling too well. They can't just abandon this.
Yeah, but I am in your camp with this, Tim. I'd really rather them just release like a real console.
Oh god, it'd be so great.
The problem is, if they wanted to release a new console, they Nintendo knows they got to do something about the handheld market, and if you do that,
Yeah,
that means
'cause
they
they
have to
own it.
they have
Well-
to split their console line again.
I mean, but they already have the Switch and the Switch. What was it, Lite? Like,
Yeah.
Just do 3. Is it
No,
that
no.
silly?
They said they were doing that with the Game Boy Advance, the DS, and the GameCube, and day fucking 1 of the DS's existence, they canceled every Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah.
So there's no
no,
three
no,
consoles.
no. Like, Switch box,
No.
Switch Lite.
But it's the same thing as the Switch Pro problem I just described, where they're not going to actively develop for it unless they do, in which case they stop
Freeman,
developing
I
for
would
Switch.
take the same thing that Sony did with like all their PS4 Pro games and everything, where they don't develop for it and they just go, "Hey, here's a Switch to flick to make the graphics a little better." Even if the game just ran smoother, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we're just looking for frame rates.
Like, I want you to buy Breath of the Wild, go to Korok Forest, and watch as the Nintendo Switch
Oh, no, I have watched.
actively
I watched my
turns
brother play
into
the
a
game.
furnace. It's ridiculous.
Shit, I just want to look at a fireplace without it dying.
It's crazy. Like, legitimately, it's like, where am I going when I'm flying right now? I don't fucking know. There's Hyrule Castle kind of that way, so I guess maybe I'm going the right way. It's just mega frustrating. But, again, I'm the kind of person who is playing, like, how many people who bought a Switch are playing Breath of the Wild? I know
mean,
a lot.
Most of them have played it.
No, I know a lot, but at the same time, how many people are doing it for things like either Ring Fit or like Mario Kart? Mario Kart runs fine. I don't understand how Mario Kart can run like fucking butter.
Do you want to know why it runs like butter?
Why?
Because it's just a port of the Wii U game. It's not a new
Oh, that's
Switch
right.
original one.
Yes, they already had to dumb it down to like basically a floppy disk to go on the Wii U, and now they're
I mean, they figured out that no one bought Wii U games because no one bought a Wii U. So if they just release it on Switch, people will buy it, and that's their strategy
Yeah,
going
like the
forward for
Donkey
most
Kong
games.
game.
I mean, it works.
Oh, has anyone here actually played Mario Kart 8?
Yes.
Okay, I can ask a very important question. Is there a difference between carts and bikes and ATVs?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, one's definitively better than the other two.
Bikes are better, right?
I mean, it depends who you ask.
Shut up. Just answer the question.
No, they're all the fucking same.
They are?
They're not. There's not like it depends on your. How do I put it?
No, what's different? Seriously.
Doesn't the bike like turn slightly easier?
Yes, they have different statistical advantages.
Yeah,
But none
The
of them
Bikes are better at
but none is
handling.
inherently best.
Because so it's funny. So me and Val's sisters who play the game, we all felt like the bike was slightly better really early on, but you constantly unlock new kart designs and you like never get new bikes. So it feels really bad to have all these cool looking karts and be like, nah, can't drive that. Gotta drive the bike if you want to win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the statistical difference is that significant.
It's really minor. I'm looking up. So basically, bikes are better on turns. ATVs grip better for sections where grip matters, and then like just carts are all rounders.
Okay, so I should start driving more karts. Got it. Because
It matters
I do,
so little because weapons are way more. Sorry, like items are more relevant than your cart stats.
I've gotten pretty decent at Tokyo Drift, so I'm not that worried about
King
corner.
in our midst.
Oh no! Oh
The
no!
DK.
No one sleeps in Tokyo.
You don't want to drift Fabio, my dude.
Honestly, what I said to Val is I was like, "Yo, we should bring some Switches to the bachelor party whenever that finally happens, and then we can all just play Mario Kart with fucking gas blasting in the background."
Nah, Tim, no. See, you're thinking too low level, man.
Oh boy.
Too low level.
Okay.
Halo 3 LAN party.
So, did I tell you that for like my 16th birthday we did a Halo LAN party? I think Friedman was there.
I was not. We had this exact discussion. I
Fuck.
also had to remind you that I wasn't there.
Fucking shit. Yeah, we had like 7 people playing 2 Xboxes in my house. You know the back room? There was a TV in there a long time ago. And
Okay.
it was that TV and the main TV. It was pretty sick.
Well, we're gonna do it again.
I don't
Not me again. But
I feel like that's not a good idea though, because we're the only people who've probably played Halo in the last like 6 years
yeah, exactly.
outside of
We're gonna
Friedman.
dumpster everybody. That'd be a good idea.
We'll just do like a 2v5.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah, why not?
Actually, my brother's friends will be there, so they'll probably
They
just
could
be like, "No, why don't we play Call of Duty? Then we'll beat
Yo,
you guys."
They'll catch this fade too, right?
No,
Listen,
tell it. The
they're
secret.
gonna get that ass
no.
whooped even more than
I was-
them
so-
killing us in Call of Duty.
I was gonna say what we should do is start with Halo, and then when they beg to switch to Call of Duty, we'll be like, "Ugh, fine, go to Call of Duty," and then we'll just flame them even harder.
yeah.
Real quick, because we're on the topic of shooters, I know they're not called League of Legends. The company that makes them, Riot.
Tencent? Oh, Riot. Oh, Valorant.
They're-
Yeah.
Tencent
Everyone's
owns
telling
Riot.
everyone's telling me to go play Valorant, and the fact that everyone's comparing it to like the kind of like tight aiming of Counter Strike gets me really hyped. Because like playing Call of Duty, playing any of these battle royales, I hate the aiming system. But if there's one thing I like about Warzone, it's that I can always win 1v1s in the Gulag because of how much I played Counter Strike.
There you go.
We should. You know what? Now that Warzone's 4 people, we should play Warzone.
Wait, it's 4 players now?
Yeah, they upped it.
They bumped it up.
Oh, nice.
Although reduce the player count, which is
Well, they went
like
from
per map.
Well, no. So what it was at least on Plunder, my mode, it used to be 103 people because it was teams of 3, and that usually ended up whatever the math is on that, like 34 team. I think it was 34 teams of 3. Now that it's 4 people, they cut it down to 100 players, so it's now 25 teams. Which I actually don't. I mean, we can talk about that for a minute, but I actually don't love that because the few games I've played of Plunder, it feels like the game concentrates a lot harder than it used to. Like as soon as a couple teams start firefighting somewhere, it's just every 3 seconds there's someone dropping in because you have 4 people now, so it's harder to wipe teams. And it's like everyone on the map just clusters somewhere every time. Whereas with 34 teams, it was like, oh, there's a firefight over here, firefight over here, firefight over here, and it was just shit bouncing around. I don't know. It's still fun though.
Shit bouncing around.
I don't know. How is it?
I prefer the 3
The 3-mans?
50 teams of 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say because how's I don't play Warzone since I play Plunder, but how's Warzone?
I mean it's good, but I mean it's the same problem though.
Right.
It's just like the the gulag is like kind of really strong.
The ability to come back, I think, is ridiculous. It's basically like having
Yeah.
a second life
I wonder if
Well,
it would
I
be
mean,
on top of normal revivals.
Yeah, on top of having a second life, you can also still buy people back in.
I mean, it's sort of solved the problem I have with battle royales. Is like if you lose early, it's just fucking game over. Like there's no point to start another round. Whereas this is my team might bring me back. I might be able to fight my way back onto the battlefield. Like I like that it makes more playability each round instead of like with Apex Legends where it'd be like I died 30 seconds around because I couldn't find a gun. It's like okay, cool. Now let's sit through another 3 minutes of loading screen so I can do this again.
just as a
And that
reminder.
wasn't fun.
In Warzone, you don't spawn with a loadout, right? Because in Plunder you do.
No,
but
you don't.
okay, I thought so. I just want to make
spawn
sure.
in with a pistol. You spawn in with just a pistol.
So I was
The fact
gonna
you have
say,
a pistol's better than most games, though.
Yes. Yeah, it is. But like the I don't know. I feel like the gulag is available for too long, and it makes the games drag on a long time.
I wonder if there would be a system where you could team limit the gulag. Because like I remember we only played together like 2 or 3 times, Tyler and Aiden, but like anytime like the whole team wipes, you just all go to the gulag and can spawn back in again. Like maybe there's a system where
You
maybe
need at least one person on the map for anyone else to gulag fight their way out.
well, more like a team has only 2 visits to the gulag collectively. So if
like gulag lives.
like
Yeah.
considering I suck dick in Warzone, like if I die immediately, well, Tyler and Aiden better pick up the pace because only one of them can go to the gulag now.
The only problem is
you
then
better win that fucking gulag, man.
But then it just turns into like the carts from Monster Hunter, and then it just starts making me hate everyone I play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but also,
You motherfucker, you wasted that cart.
but at the same time, karting also, like, the game would be different. It would have to be even harder if you could kart 4 times for 4 people.
True. But that's what we have Arch Tempered for.
Oh my god.
I don't want to think about Master Rank, Arch Tempered.
Oh, yeah, we also skipped this in the news, but I guess since we're talking about Monster Hunter, there's another patch coming for Iceborne in 11 days. Or, sorry, 9 days. Wrong
There's
math.
like not enough time to do the last patch. This we'll finally
Freeman,
have real like
Freeman,
gaps after this one.
You can't go 9 days now without after the total of, 16 days after the last new monsters that came out? You need 2 whole weeks?
I still haven't finished like base Iceborne content here.
Oh my god. No, I'm being sarcastic, but I'm just pretending to be one of those losers who's like, well, yeah,
the
I beat
diehards who farm
within-
the whole thing in the first night and then start complaining about when the next monster's coming out.
Where's the new content, man? I already beat this thing. It's like
Monster
the people.
Hunter is a lot of game.
I like
Yeah,
how
it is.
Capcom was like, this game is not a live service, and then immediately like,
Get the fuck out of here. It's not a live service.
daily login rewards, seasonal events. It's not a live service.
Speaking of seasonal, you Animal Crossing people, how was that Easter event? Because all I heard anywhere on the internet and from Rachel is it's the worst thing ever.
Can
Oh,
I
it calls-
offer
it calls
you
me
an
to
egg in
stop-
this trying time.
Yeah.
It caused me to stop playing Animal Crossing daily because of it. So it was like, I just don't want to fucking go fishing for eggs. I'll play when this event's over.
The fact that there was a patch to make it less spawn rate for the egg shit and people still got pissed because it was still too high is hilarious to me.
The problem is Nintendo was really out of what's the term I'm looking for here? They completely didn't understand how American fans enjoy Animal Crossing. They assumed it was just like Japan where people play for like 30 minutes a day. They had no idea
Hell
people were
no.
just like marathoning this, leaping
Well,
through time, like speed running the game.
It also doesn't help. Well, it also doesn't help that during Corona right now, people are playing even more than they would have probably.
Yeah.
Like there would be a few people doing that, but the fact that people are like, okay, wake up, here's 5 hours of Animal Crossing on the day the patch egg day started, and they're like, fuck, I've already got like 1,000 eggs of every type. Please God, like the spawn rate, like you said, Freeman, and often comes up for Nintendo and Japanese stuff. The spawn rate is great if you are playing 30 minutes a day. You need that high spawn rate.
Yeah.
But if you're playing for 5 hours in a day, or like I think Rachel's been putting in at least 3, then it's
I
then
get
it's too
bored
much.
too fast. I can't play this for like more than an hour a day before it's just like I've already done everything for today. Let me do something else.
She just unlocked terraforming and like laying down roads, so maybe that'll happen now.
Gotcha.
I don't know. She also did just buy Kingdom Hearts 3 for her PS4, so maybe.
What a waste.
What a waste.
I didn't want to say that directly, but that's what I was thinking.
I'll
Sorry,
say,
man.
I'll say it
Kingdom Hearts
directly.
3 isn't a good game.
She also hasn't played many of the like she's played
I
some,
still-
but not all of
I
them.
still
Yo,
want to
you
play
know
the
what she
DLC
should've-
though.
She should have bought because it was on sale for $30. The whole kit and
The whole
caboodle.
collection, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Maybe
worth
she
money.
did. I don't
Just
know.
playing the HD remasters of 1 and 2 alone, and maybe Birth by Sleep is
You know
enough
what?
to
You
want
know
it.
what she should have bought? I would have killed to play God of War.
Now that's a game.
Oh, maybe if I beat Breath of the Wild and quarantine is like still in effect, maybe I'll buy God of War for her PS4. Like I bought Bloodborne for it a few years ago.
Well, wait for her to beat the 40-hour campaign that's Kingdom Hearts 3, and then she'll be so disgusted you can probably just start using the PS4 without her noticing.
True.
I'd say,
don't know.
oh, you could borrow mine, but I forgot mine's on my. Oh, wait, no, I think I do have a physical. No, I have a physical copy of God of War.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should wrap up our Switch discussion because we've completely skewered away from the Switch.
Anyway, future Switch, I think they got to decide what are they doing about handhelds because they're held back because they want to be a handheld and they can't play the console game, or if they want to start doing this weird hybrid approach forever, which means they're always going to be a good handheld console but never be able to play with the big boys.
All
So
they
they've
have
gotta-
to do is grow a technical brain and have graphics and gameplay settings that are changed based on if you're in handheld mode or if you're on the Pro console. That's literally what the fact that like PS4 and Xbox games now have a setting for graphics where you can either go high frame rate or high fidelity means that even consoles now have graphics settings.
I mean,
So what I'm saying
PCs
is,
have been doing it for years now.
yeah, I know, but that
These things
means
are basically PCs at this
The
point.
point, I think the point is they don't have an excuse right now. Like,
No, they're-
why wouldn't you just do that?
I mean, they don't have an excuse, but they have a legitimate reason. It's that there are a lot of really old developers who are in very old mindsets. The fact that Game Freak still isn't entirely sure how to push
my
out patches
God.
for games when they're like, let's go the DLC route, kind of
Does-
bothers me.
But does Game Freak have like its own? I feel like Game Freak like literally grows developers in a lab somewhere because they can't be hiring new developers these days who still don't see how this is an issue.
Well, that's the thing. They don't hire new developers. It's
Well, but
been
that's
the
what I
same
mean.
team since
feel-
like Diamond and Pearl on the Nintendo DS.
See, but that's what I mean. I feel like we have to be aging out of developers for these old games franchises at this point.
But like that's the thing, you have some studios where it's good, like Square Enix. They have the whole Final Fantasy 7 team is now making this glorious game. Game Freak, not so much. You have the same team that did Diamond and Pearl trying to make 3D games using the engine from Diamond and Pearl.
Oh God.
And then you have like, I don't know how to put this. Like I don't know. Nintendo has a bunch of different studios under their belt, and probably the one that's the best at doing anything, ironically enough, is the Splatoon team that also did Animal Crossing. Because they're also probably like I think the youngest first party team that Nintendo has.
The
But a
fact
lot
that
of it-
Animal Crossing has so many UI decisions and gameplay things that I just fucking can't stand when I watch Rachel play is still a problem in my mind.
They
See,
do
I mean,
that
it's-
on purpose.
It's because a lot of it's a holdover from the originals. Like for them, tradition is more important than innovation.
Like the fact that there's no durability like shown anywhere, and sometimes your tools will just explode, and you just are like, well, I had no idea that was coming unless I mentally counted how many times I've used this item.
Wait, are you guys not counting how many swings you take with the axe?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like 21 swings. I think your 7th tree is the one that breaks it. So just start counting trees. I'm joking. Please don't think I'm serious here.
Oh, I know you're not, but it's frustrating that we live in that world.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. It's usually after the 5th or 6th tree. I'm like, it's probably gonna break soon. I'm cognizant of it, but I don't know the exact number of swings I've left.
No, sure. And I understand not having like a bar or anything, but like there's just so much. Like, okay, here's a really good one. The fact that to craft a fully level of like an axe, not a flimsy axe, you have to craft a flimsy axe, then craft the good axe. In any game that came out in the West on PC, you could
They let
click.
you shortcut it.
You could click. I'm guarantee if it was made in the West, you could click on axe, and it would, as part of it, build the flimsy axe. And I'm like,
The problem is that requires multiple recipes for the same item, and the Animal Crossing system does not support multiple recipes for a single item.
I can't. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, they are listening. They already added crafting using shit that's in your storage and not just on hand. So like they are listening to complaints, which
Oh,
is more
thank
than
God.
which is more than most other Nintendo groups
That
do.
is-
So the fact that
so-
they're live patching like quality of life updates is
I will say
unheard of for Nintendo.
that is true. I think in like the what is it, week or two since Egg Day started, when Egg Day started, the game was at 1.12a. Now it's at 1.14a. So there's been like a patch a week almost for Animal Crossing, which is honestly kind of impressive.
It's the team that did Splatoon 2, which was like that game lived and died based on online new weekly content. So they have like the perfect team for fixing shit, which on any other console or system would be called a normal development team.
But on the Switch, it's like, look
On
at
the
this
Switch,
golden,
look at this.
look at this
golden
golden
goose
team
of a
on the
team we
hill.
have.
You mean Gilded Goose, Freeman? It creates a food when it enters the battle.
God, and I'm eating the shit up. Hopefully it's not eggs. Anyway, does anyone else have anything to say about Switch, or do we want to end that discussion now?
I got nothing.
Nope.
I wish Nintendo would flip the script and be like Microsoft and be like, we'll just put our games everywhere. Because we love our consumers instead of
But
Nintendo
that requires
being like,
Nintendo to own like an operating system that they can also make money off of.
All right. That's the final word. All right, now we can end on what we watched and played, even though everyone covered it in terms of Final Fantasy for all three of you.
No, I did not reveal the surprise show that I did watch yet because I was saving it for the watch section.
Dun-dun,
Surprise show.
So it was.
dun-dun.
I'll explain why I'm watching, then I'll explain what it is. So it was last summer. Tyler sends this gift to the group chat going, "Freeman, do you know what show this is from?" And it's this
Oh,
gift
God.
of this girl in a robot, and she's transforming, but she's also dancing on what looks like a stripper pole, but she's inside of a larger robot that's also transforming. And then the clip ends with this laser firing, like blowing up a fucking mountain. And I told him, "No, I'm not watching this, but I'm pretty sure it's from the new season of Symphogear because the anime subreddit's flipping out about the animation." So in order to understand why the new season of Symphogear is the way it is, I looked into this series and saw that they came. It's completely anime original. There's no other source material. So it's just this one studio is just like, fuck it, we want to make this show about a post-apocalyptic world where these noise monsters appear, and the only way to fight them is to weaponize singing. And that's the plot of Symphogear. And they came up with a season every other year. So starting in I suppose 2013 or 2012, I guess. No, the first one was 2012, and then it was 2 years, and they're like, okay, every other year we're gonna do another season. And then 2019 was the final one, which was so well animated. I don't know where they got the budget for it, but it's weird going back because back in 2012, no one used CG for everything. All the robot parts are like drawn. Anytime someone fights, a new like J-pop song starts playing with the like voice actors singing it, and all the songs sound like they're the opening from Gundam Seed. So they all have that very early 2010s J-pop with loud synthesizers playing sound. So it sounds great, but it's weird because it's been a while since I've watched an anime from that era. All in all, it's very fun. I'm excited to watch a season of it that came out a year apart to watch how the show itself evolves because I know what the last season looks like and it's gonna look ridiculous.
Hell yeah.
But I picked that up mostly because like I do that thing where I pick up like 8 shows that are airing this season, but there's like nothing airing. And I need something that on a given day I can just watch like 3 episodes in a row of. So there's 60 episodes total of Symphogear across its 5 seasons. So I have enough to keep me entertained for the next year and a half of this quarantine.
Please don't be that long. I'm
Sorry,
supposed to get married.
It's just to keep me occupied. So I have something to watch during dinner for the next like 7 to 8 weeks,
Good call.
realistically. But that was it. I'm not watching too much other shit. I started Fruits Basket, started the new season of Digimon. Both are very good and very close to their original source material, but honestly way better than the original animes.
Wow.
So if you're a fan of either of those, they're both really good. That's about it.
And games is just Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 7 Remake, baby! Let's keep playing this.
Pew 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 pew.
Tyler, do you have anything but Final Fantasy?
Started getting back into Ozark.
Oh, my dad actually watched that and said season 3 is fantastic.
Yeah, I like fell off that show for a while, and then I picked back up, and then something significant happened. Like I was like, cause our our buddy, other Tim, was like, "Yo, Bubba, did you watch the third season?" I'm like, "Nah, I haven't watched it in a while." He's like, "Yo, just watch it, man. I need someone to talk to about it." So I'm like, "Fine." So I picked it back up, and like the first episode I picked up, something significant happened. I'm like, "All right, well, time to keep watching this now." So that's pretty much it. Um, in terms of watching stuff, I'm also watching Tower of God. I like what's going on so far. I'm still kind of confused, but hey, man, I'll still keep giving it a try. It looks interesting.
I'm under the impression that you're supposed to be confused with the entire first season.
Oh, I don't know. It seems all right for me. It's not like too confused. Like I get the gist. Like I know enough to be interested, I guess.
But you don't know enough to get the whole picture. Like there's still a lot of mystery hanging around, but
Ye-
it's not pure and utter confusion as to why anyone's doing anything.
Right. Like I get the concept of the show, and it's enough for me to like more like, oh, sure, I'll keep watching this. So, and sometimes the animation's kind of cool. So like it's different. Uh, so that's what, yeah, that's pretty much it. Final Fantasy 7. I downloaded Space Hulk.
Oh wow.
Me and Aiden did. Because because I got a coupon for it in my inventory one day in Steam. Like I'm sure everybody else did
Oh
at some
yeah.
point. So I'm like, yo, this game actually looks kind of dope, but is it good? I'm like, it's only $8.
Fuck it. Why
Sure,
not?
why not? I'll give it a download. So like, I haven't really gotten into it yet, but I want to give it a try.
Glory to the God Emperor.
Yeah, skulls for the Skull Throne.
No, you can't do that. That's what the chaos does. We don't do
I'ma
that. We're
do it.
we fight for the God Emperor, Tyler. It's the
No,
wrong faction.
I don't know shit about Warhammer.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
just like being a space marine and just shooting the shit out of goblins. It's
It
fucking
is pretty
awesome.
great.
Just
Orcs,
pop, pop, pop.
orcs
Dude,
and Zerg.
it's amazing. Like I don't know. Like I really didn't pay that much attention to Space Marine when I was playing it, but I was like, man, this is just fun. I was like blowing the shit out of these guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Uh, Mindless
Bolters are
fun.
mini explosive or mini grenade launchers.
Yeah, which is hilarious. It's not an actual gun. It literally is just that. Um. Oh, and I'm like halfway through the final book of the Dark Tower. I've
Almost
like
done.
slowed down significantly because where I'm at is like not interesting again.
Damn.
Which sucks because the previous book was really good. I killed that shit in like a week.
I feel like I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and like this one, I'm like,
It's okay.
but
You can read other stuff soon.
yeah, I'm gonna pick up. The fuck is it called? Is it the Lightbringer? Fuck, what the fuck is it? I don't know. It's a Brandon Sanderson book though. Wait, hold on. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Books. Oh yeah, The Way of Kings. There you go. My friend has told me to read this book for a long time, and so I figured I would actually give it a read, or at least the first one, to see how I feel about it. And if not, oh, I'm gonna read that, and then if that's gonna, we can keep reading that. If not, I'm gonna read Rainbow Six after that.
Wow.
But I'm probably not gonna. I have a strong feeling that I'm not gonna like it
Damn.
as much as I think I'm gonna like it.
As much as I think I'll like it, I think I'm gonna hate it.
Because you know why? Because Tom Clancy was one of those writers like fucking James Patterson or whoever else that just like cranked out books every
Oh, just
year.
pumped out a million books.
Yeah, and like they're just the most generic things ever written.
Tyler, in the defense of that, that is the same thing that happened at the beginning of the Dresden Files too.
It is. It is. Um, I have no defense for that. honestly, except for the fact of like I was really a huge fan of the world,
Right.
like the world building. Like I think the world building in Dresden is very unique. Like you don't really get anything like that aside from Supernatural, which is why I started watching Supernatural. Um, but like you don't get a lot of stuff like that. Especially that's like the way he writes it. It's just interesting stuff. Like even like I said, like I made the comment to you the other day. I'm like, man, Full Moon and Stormfront are basically the same books. Like even though they were structured the same, he in the second book expanded a lot more on the universe, like a lot. So there's some merit to that. Whereas opposed to like James Patterson books or anyone else like that, like they follow the same thing in an already familiar world. Like there's no wonder to it, like or anything that makes you go like, oh, that's kind of cool, like or like makes you ask any questions. It just kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about books like that and why I've never liked them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Why Dresden's pretty dope and people should read it.
Yay.
Like, oh yeah, I'm listening to Dresden right now.
Woo.
Yeah,
You said you
James,
finished Full Moon.
I finished Full Moon and I'm in the middle of Grave Peril right now.
Right.
James Marsters, if anyone's familiar with him, he plays Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And that's all he's really known for. He's done some other stuff, but
But
he does a
that's
pretty
the thing. And he reads
That's-
your ebooks. Your audiobooks.
yeah,
I mean.
he reads these Dresden File ebooks and he does a good job being a Dresden. Yeah, that's it. I went too long on what I was reading.
It's fine. We needed content.
Yeah, right.
Gotta pad this bitch out.
Freeman, there is content that you forgot that we tried out together. Because
What did
I
we
bought
try?
and tried No Sky Guy with Friedman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we played that last week.
Yeah,
it's fun, but holy fuck, I'm always out of oxygen in this game.
So, man, I mean, I feel like we should give it one more try.
I mean, I'm not at the point where I don't like it. I hate the frantic feeling of always feeling I'm on the verge of death in this game.
I just
Maybe
feel
it's
like
That's me every day, fam.
I got too used to Animal Crossing where it's just like, nothing can go wrong. Like, tarantulas are your greatest fear. Now it's just like, fuck, where are the plants in the ground? I have no oxygen. Where's the objective? It also doesn't help that multiplayer is kind of wonky. It's basically single player
Yeah.
with another person there. So, like, Tim and I are both running through the mission. It's like, build a base. And then I realized the UI is telling me that my base is Tim's base.
because I'm hosting the game.
And
But-
it says, go talk to your computer. So I talked to the computer just built. But it's like, no, I have to go talk to Tim's computer that's in Tim's base while the two of us were trying to have a friendly neighborhood rivalry thing going on.
But then, like, yeah, because I landed in a crater and set up my base in a crater, and Freeman's like, nah. So he set it up in a forest right next to the crater. And my base
where
won, but-
where we couldn't see each other from our houses.
where there was literally a hill between our houses. My only issue is how clearly disconnected it is. Like, so we spawned the game. Like Freeman said, immediately you're out of resources. And part of the problem, I think, like, this game starts you, Freeman, I think you looked that up, you said, every time you start a new character, you start on a hostile planet, so you have to scramble for resources.
Yeah, they revamped the starting experience because it used to be you'd start on a random planet. Like when this game launched, I started on a neutral planet. It was fine.
So I
But
think
a lot of
there's...
people start on hostile ones and they were fucked. So they
Right.
retooled it to make it so you have to work on a hostile planet for your first one.
So here's the thing. I think most games, like survival games, start you in a nice temperate zone so that you can take it easy and figure things out. And like in Minecraft, you start with what? You start with wood, and you basically just start with wood, and then, I can get stone, I can get metal, and then you're moving on to like better metal, like gold, and then
This game
diamond.
dumps you in into me. It's like craft a tier 3 thing to fix your ship. It's
This
like,
game, yeah.
bro, where's the crafting menu?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm a little burned on it only because it does throw you in the deep end so hard. But to go back to what I was saying about the disconnect, so we started the game, and I was like a minute ahead of Freeman somehow because like I found some resource a little faster. And my game goes, warning, firestorm approaching, seek cover. and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta get back in my ship that's disabled or run to this place to find shelter. And Freeman's like, I don't have that at all. And it's just
we had different weather on our games despite being playing on the same world, like right next to
What
each
the
other.
fuck?
because the weather for that instance was tied to an objective trigger. But so then I took cover and Freeman's running around outside like nothing's wrong.
No, it wasn't an objective trigger. It's on a set timer from when you spawn in. So whenever I join your game, I'm always a couple minutes behind you because I have to join your instance.
Either way, it's not the world. It's something on a character.
Yes.
So I'm in my ship just watching Freeman run around like literally nothing's wrong because it isn't for him. And then 2 minutes later, Freeman has the same thing happen, and then I run off to an objective a kilometer away because Freeman's stuck in his ship and he can't move while the firestorm is hitting. And it just makes this
we're both playing out of sync with each other.
And it just makes this really weird, disconnected feeling where like it's really hard to feel like you're contributing to anything.
Because you're both playing single player at the same. By the time we finally started building a base and we realized we're not competing, that was the first time we ever actually cooperated on anything in that.
Yeah. And the only reason we cooperated is because the game forced Freeman to come to my base because it read it as his base.
This game literally forced us to play together as opposed to just being enemies. They turned this PvP game into a PvE game.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like even with this tutorial, I feel like this game opened up way too much, way too fast. And I feel like it's like, oh, craft a teleporter, craft a battery because you need batteries. Oh, you crafted
it's going way too fast here.
So literally the first time I built the research station, I was able to research all the way to base teleporter to teleport back from anywhere. Set up the base teleporter. Okay, it needs power. Okay, build a generator. Put fuel in the generator. You cannot take fuel out of the generator once it's going and it starts ticking down and burning fuel, even if nothing is actually running and you're not using anything. If it's plugged in, it's draining power. So if you didn't build a battery, well, you just threw away however much fuel you put into the generator and go do whatever you need to in the next 10 minutes before you run out of fuel so that you can teleport back here or your teleporter will shut down. And it's like...
your teleporter doesn't need to be on to teleport back.
What?
What?
It literally
wouldn't...
It literally wouldn't light up or show any activity if I didn't plug it into the generator.
No, yeah. You can't teleport from that teleporter if you don't have power, but you can teleport back to it.
The game literally...
You don't need to keep it on.
All right, well that makes sense. You can always come back to where you left.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it is a very steep learning curve, but once you get into it, things will start to make sense. Like Friedman with the oxygen. Eventually,
it took me a while to realize there were tiny plants on the ground with oxygen. I was just like, I was preparing to die until Tim's like, dude, just shoot the floor.
Yeah, I'm like, Freeman, you're standing on crystals or something.
Ultimately you'll get stuff like portable refiners, and it's like, well, there's no oxygen on this planet that I'm on because it's a desolate planet. You can actually refine other materials into oxygen.
Oh, thank God.
So it seems very overwhelming now, but you start to pick up little shortcuts for how to solve all those problems.
Oh, it's definitely very overwhelming.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot of stuff.
And then you go up to... So then the objective is take off from your ship, leave the base you just built, and fly to a space station, which has about 20 aliens who all don't speak your language, and you have to basically use sign language to be like, I look for this thing, and then you can try to learn their dialect, but it's like immediately you're trying to translate a language. There's no one who speaks English.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember the first time I did it.
Characters.
Yeah, the first time I did the game, I walked in, I saw no one spoke English, I couldn't understand. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm getting back my ship, I'm leaving.
There's just, I don't even want to be here right now. So we'll
I don't want to be on this planet anymore, literally.
Yeah, so we'll probably try one more time. Maybe we'll try to actually build a base near my... Okay, Aiden, can you move your base?
You can have as many bases as you want.
Can you move your base?
Can you move it?
Because
I've legitimately never tried.
So here's the thing.
You can delete it and remake it.
Okay, because I put down a base computer and then it went, here's your thing, and then I tried to pick it up and slightly shift it. Like I built so the first time I did it, I put it right in the middle of the crater because I couldn't build anything yet. And then I built a shack right next to the thing, and I wanted to put it inside. And it said, "Nope, don't even try to interact with this thing."
Oh, you want to like move your base computer?
I want to pick it up and put it. So what I ended up doing was ripping down that building and then rebuilding it around the computer sitting there on the floor.
Unfortunately, that is the only way I believe that will work.
Nice.
You will be able to build other terminals though, so that you wouldn't need to go back to that.
Can you also third person when you're flying or no?
Yes.
Oh God, I need to switch to that immediately.
Yeah, it's under it's under the X key menu. If you hit X, and there's like
also,
a setting.
Can this game fuck off with all these button sub menus? There's the building menu and the recharge your gear menu and this menu and the crafting menu.
There are a lot of menus.
Way too much.
And the fact that nothing is click, it's all hold down to do anything.
Oh my God. Could you imagine how much better this game would be? Or it feels like it to me at least. If you could hold right click and do like one of those radial menus where you like push your mouse left, then up, then right, and like have a radial visual.
I would honestly, like Guild Wars 2 used to have a problem that everything had a confirmation prompt. And I'd rather have a confirmation prompt than this hold down to confirm shit.
Oh God. Yeah, everything is hold to confirm. But anyway, me and Freeman tried that. Maybe we'll play it some more. I don't know. Maybe if there's no news next week, we'll do a streaming of No Man's Sky instead of the TNT podcast.
No podcast Sky.
The game I can't play. Awesome.
I mean,
like you will play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to play this.
I mean, I also suggested streaming Warzone since we can all do that, and no one seemed on board with that idea. So
I'm down with it.
I'm actually down. I
didn't seeing how bad I am.
Wow.
What the fuck, Tyler?
What? I said how bad I am. I didn't say anything about you.
Yeah,
guys.
I know.
Shit.
What the fuck?
You assume that any of us are skilled.
Everyone can hear you being
No,
self-deprecating.
I mean, I'm okay.
Aiden puts me in the baby stroller, dude.
Hey, man.
What?
Not in Warzone though. You're better at Warzone than I am.
If we play Plunder, then I'll throw everybody in my backpack.
With domination, I got 90 kills.
Dear Lord.
Easy, but like,
yeah. It's true, though.
if you put me in Warzone,
I know it's true. It's lame.
It's just not. I just
lame.
I fucking hate shit.
Tyler has the tactics that you need for Warzone.
Well, regardless of what we do for the podcast, whether or not it happens next week, I already talked about Breath of the Wild a lot. I know Tyler always likes to say I don't like anything, but I really like Breath of the Wild. I'm playing it a lot. Outside of a few of the quibbles I have with how it's designed, like, man, combat in that game could be a lot better. Like, I love exploring and like doing the shrines and everything, and the puzzles are all neat little bite-sized puzzles. But man, fucking combat. Ugh. Like, Link always feels like he's reacting way too slow to what I'm telling him to do. Like, so I fought an aspect of Ganon just before we started the podcast, the Thunder one, inside the giant camel, as Tyler liked to call it.
Yeah.
Val actually remembered you called it a camel last night, Tyler. She's like, oh, you're going to the camel. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, Tyler called it a camel last night. I assume that's it.
Yeah, robot camel.
So I tried to hit Ganon to break his shield, and then I immediately started holding X to launch into a spin attack because I was using a two-handed sword. You have to wait for the second swing to finish, then tell Link to hold X to start the spin attack, or Link will just stand there. And I'm like, in any other game, I could do this input now, and it would be fine. But honestly, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a horse in this game. I've literally explored. I've gotten every tower on the map and over 50 shrines without a horse. So I'm probably never going to get a horse.
Horses are extremely tedious. And honestly, they're only useful if you get the ancient horse armor.
Well, I know there's DLC about a horse, so I'll probably get a horse if I do the DLC side quest that apparently involves a horse. But outside that, fuck catching these wild horses and bringing it to a stable and all this lame shit. I run plenty fast. Or I just go to a tower and glide.
Yeah, and honestly, most of the places you'd want to explore anyways, you can't explore on a horse most
We'll
of the
say,
time.
and you know what else is great? In the desert, you can rent a sandworm or a sand seal. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
And that thing's fine. That thing's fun to ride along behind, like you're wakeboarding. But yeah, Breath of the Wild's. Is there a way to check in the game how much playtime you have, Aiden?
I think the Switch itself tells you how much you've played each game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here, you guys talk for a sec. The game's running right behind me because I was recharging my instant revive ability from the water elephant. So let me see if I can check my playtime in the last 2 weeks. Keep talking for a sec.
I'm pretty sure it's like home settings and then individual game. I don't know. It's been so long since I've looked at it.
Yeah, I try to avoid looking at my time played on games now because
I'm getting deeply concerned the fact that it keeps showing how many hours I have on Monster Hunter World. I'm like, there's no way I'm at 250 hours now. Like, I only just started this game last year. There's no way.
Yeah, that's the fun fact that I learned yesterday.
How deep are you into Iceborne?
I have 339 hours in Monster Hunter World, which is also the equivalent almost exactly to the current runtime of all of One Piece.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did calculate that yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we're piecing out how many days if you slept 8 hours and watched the rest of it, how long it would take. I think it's like a month and a half right now.
Yeah, some shit like that. So I have played a lot of Monster Hunter.
I'm dropping on to Guild Wars 2 to see how many hours I had that, because I dedicated my life to that game for a while.
Zelda's over 40 already.
I'm not going to talk about World of Warcraft.
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, I think only Luigi would beat you if he came in.
I have hundreds of days logged in that.
I'm sure Luigi. I mean,
Luigi stays logged in permanently. Let's be real here.
Well,
actually,
God bless him.
on a slightly more somber note,
we don't need to talk about this in the podcast.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Other than that, let's see, playing Breath of the Wild. I'm trying to think of anything else.
All right, so I have 4,300 hours in Guild Wars 2.
Jesus.
God damn.
Yes.
I
played this game a lot.
I have probably equivalent in more.
Man, there is not a single game that I even hold a candle to any of these other fucking things.
Oh, I don't either, Tyler. It's okay.
That's because you are men of culture.
That's because you're not master rank.
Also, you're not master rank.
I am not master rank now.
There is one other game I've been playing. I've actually been replaying Civ 4 with two of my groomsmen.
Oh.
Alvin and Ed have been online, and we've been playing Civ 4 a bunch, and we're planning on starting a big 3-player game. I have been playing Civ 4 for such a crazy long time. I think that game's like, 13, 14 years old now? But yeah, Civ 4 is still really fun. We're talking about finally upgrading to a Civilization game that came out in the last decade, so it's either going to be Civ 5 or Civ 6. We're not sure yet. But yeah, Civ 4 is still really good. It has issues, but it's still really fun. Other than that, watching Animal Crossing, some Mario Kart that gets sweaty. Watch Bookworm. Bookworm's still good. Haikyuu's done, which sucks. My Hero's done, which sucks. Watch Tiger King. Tiger King's insane. Still haven't watched Violet, much to my sadness. Oh yeah, Food Wars started. Freeman can't talk about it because he hasn't watched it yet.
I might be watching it tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. Man, we thought this show could hit new levels of not having a budget, but
it keeps proving how little money you need to make an anime.
PowerPoint the animation.
Yeah, this opening was made on probably like a $2 bill that someone pulled off of a wall in a restaurant that they ate lunch at. Like, it's crazy how little animation there is in this opening. Hey, you know what? I wish you would watch it just to see how far it's fallen.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I didn't know it started back up again, but now that I know, I will unfortunately have to just suffer through this.
Yeah, the first episode was all right, but there was literally zero shots of like zero information on cooking.
Okay, but was Megami in the episode?
She was.
All right, this is gonna be a great episode then.
It's kind of funny to watch her actually be a member of the Elite 10 and actually do something, because it's easy to forget that she's a member of the Elite 10.
That was a thing that happened.
Oh yeah, you didn't see
Yeah.
the ending yet.
I forgot like completely about all of this. My brain literally repressed it.
Did you even finish the last season?
No, I finished it.
Oh,
I
then
did.
then never mind. You did know that.
I knew this. I did know this. I am so upset with what this show has done.
Understandable. It has gotten quite poor.
Yeah. Damn
And
it.
Freeman has said repeatedly, and we keep talking about it on here, but this is supposed to be the worst arc of the show by far. So
The one that got it canceled. That said, I'm hyped for Bleach's new arc, which is also the one that got it canceled. So, two sides of the same coin. Am I right?
Aiden, do you have anything else you want to talk about? I'm sure I'm done.
Final Fantasy. Literally that's all I did. I came home Friday night and I played Final Fantasy until Monday.
Hell yeah.
So, the last Final Fantasy thing I'm going to bring up this entire podcast, and without spoiling it, yes or no, were you disappointed with the ending?
Disappointed? No. I was not disappointed.
Okay.
I understand. I understand the sentiment though.
Gotcha.
But I personally was not disappointed. No, and I am cautiously optimistic for how this may play out in the future.
All right. Because I told these guys once rumors broke that Tetsuya Nomura got his hands on the story material, I'm just like, oh no.
Oh, no.
What this time?
Oh well, you'll see.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I pretty much just did that, and I still want to play more of it. I'm like, I can't tell you how upset I am that the full game, like that they didn't just remake the whole game. Like, cause I need to play more of this. I need it. Like, they have. I feel like they have done a fantastic job realizing probably what the original vision was for this universe.
Yeah.
And I
Hard
respect
agree.
the amount of effort that they put into this because they really just knocked it out of the park as far
It
as
just
world
like
building.
it oozes care. Like you could tell they
Yeah.
really cared with this remake.
And it wasn't like, like they didn't pull any punches with it. Like they has some stuff is different, yes, but like for the sake of just creative license, obviously, like everything major that needed to happen happened, and you just got to learn more about the stuff that's going on, which I don't have any objections to that. It was a fantastic experience, and god damn it, Square Enix, if you don't fucking get your act together and get those other two parts out, I'm gonna kill you. Because
I'm gonna write angry letters. And
I'm jonesing.
then kill you.
I need more of it. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Final Fantasy, and Mountain Blade. That was it. And I'm
for
about to
real?
watch Final Fantasy Advent Children
Advent
because I'm
Children?
fiending.
Not gonna lie, I'm debating on rewatching too.
For real though, we should just be happy that this came out because, you know what would have came out this week.
Pour one out for Cyberpunk.
Pour one out for the
Cyberpunk
fucking boy.
2077.
I saw on the calendar today our canceled PTO.
Oh, I know.
I was like,
I know.
man, this is terrible. Like, we brought it up last week, but like it wasn't real until I saw it on the calendar. I was like, oh god, this hurts.
Yeah,
Like,
we
not
would
only
be playing-
are we not getting Cyberpunk, we're in the middle of this bullshit at work. So I'm just like, this is
Oh,
great,
it makes the wait even worse.
Yep.
right? But you know what? It's fine.
It'll all be
It's
worth
gonna-
it.
It'll be great. It'll be so worth it.
And you know what? By the time it comes out, all this pandemic shit will be done, and everybody gets to go back to work, so we can't play.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
All right.
Well, I think we're done now. We
Let's
almost
wrap
managed
it
to
up.
hit
Wrap it
2
up.
hours with nothing
I
to
gotta,
talk about. So
I gotta go.
yeah, that's fine. So we will maybe be back next week, or we'll be back with like a live stream or something. We're not sure. We'll figure it out, but probably day of. So.
Yeah,
Play it by
last
ear.
minute. Let's go.
But until next
make
time,
friends.
thanks everybody for watching as Aiden launches a game. Until next time, my name's Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
Aiden.
Catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.